The Myria token is about to launch. This is a Medium article coming to us today, March 13th, and it is literally titled, "The Myria token is about to launch." So I'm super excited for this. I've been waiting for the Myria token for a very long time, and I actually did buy one of their node license. This was all the way back in October 2022. So I've been waiting for this for 5 months or so. A lot of people have also been waiting for this, and we finally got some more information about the Myria token, which is of course the token that's going to be used on this entire gaming ecosystem. So if you're unfamiliar with Myria, we have made multiple videos in the past about this one, but essentially in a nutshell, it is a layer 2 solution blockchain built on top of Ethereum, and this is a massive gaming ecosystem. Not only do they host their own games, but they do have other developers that can publish their games onto the Myria marketplace. So this is very similar to Gala. If you're familiar with the Gala ecosystem, it's very similar to their gaming ecosystem. But again, Gala, I believe, only has their own games, and here Myria is also accepting developers to publish their games on the Myria website. So alongside with this Medium article, they did also release a white paper, which is what I want to go through today. I'm going to leave links in the description below if you want to go ahead and read this for yourselves. But this is something very interesting. There's over 1 million users registered on Myria. Whether or not these are active users or not, I'm not too sure. And as I said, Myria is a blockchain built on top of Ethereum. It's a layer 2 with 0 gas fees and free NFT minting. So that is obviously something to take note of, because right now, obviously, Gala has their own blockchain. It's also on the Ethereum blockchain. And I still remember minting $20 NFTs with about $80 worth of gas. Not to compare the two, because I do like both ecosystems, but that is obviously something to consider. They do have more than 250 gaming projects that have decided to build on the Myria platform, and that's basically what we have here. But if I take you on to the Myria token and specifically talk about that, because I know you guys are for sure interested in this, what is the Myria token's utility? Well, first off, you're going to be able to purchase nodes with it, because I did purchase my node using Ethereum, but now any future node purchases are going to be made in the Myria token. That's utility number one. You are going to be able to stake your Myria as well once this goes live. There is a protocol fee, so a proportion of protocol fees on every Myria transactions will be paid in that said token. Then obviously, like any other ecosystem, we're talking about governance and having a say as to what Myria does with this ecosystem. Now, of course, there are also going to be additional in-game utilities, so you are going to be able to use your Myria tokens to, I'm not too sure, maybe buy some stuff in-game. I really hope that they don't create multiple different currencies for each game. Similar to what Gala had done, I was playing Townstar and they created this town token. In my opinion, it wasn't necessarily the best move, and they are actually going back and removing the town token, only keeping the Gala game token. So I do hope Myria just sticks to the Myria token and uses that for every single game they have. And they also say you're going to be able to use your Myria for exclusive NFT purchases. Again, we're just going to have to see how that works. Now, if we take a look at the Myria ecosystem, we have their essential marketplace here. And as I said before, Myria is actually developing their own games. So they do have a few of the top games here. Not all of them are fully built out yet. I think the only one that's in beta is Moonville. They were testing out Metacart as well. But then if you continue scrolling down here, you have other developers that are essentially posting or publishing their games on the Myria ecosystem. So that's kind of the games that they have right now. And of course, they're going to continue building on this. And if we talk about the nodes here, this node page hasn't really changed much from the last few months. So obviously, if you have a node, you're going to be able to earn daily rewards in the Myria token. You are going to be having voting rights, and you are going to get some exclusive NFTs. I paid 2.5 ETH back in October. I do believe that was around, I think, $3,000 for this node. So hopefully I can make my monies back on this. And I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see what it actually does. Because of course, right now we're talking about the Myria token, talking about the Myria ecosystem, but we still have to have the user adoption. We still have to have people play it, people use this ecosystem. So all of that, I can't tell what's going to happen. Now, the next thing I want to do is just quickly glance over their white paper. This is the first time I see their white paper. And I mean, I've been waiting for about 5 months for this, but it's 19 page. In my opinion, it's very simple. It's not too complicated. I'm not too sure if that's a good thing or bad thing. Personally, I like it when it's simple and it's to the point and it's not 100 pages. But on the other hand, I've also been waiting so long for this. I kind of wanted more information. It's very generic, so I'm gonna let you guys make your own opinion of it, but I wanna highlight a few things of this white paper. So as we said, Myria, it's an L2 on Ethereum. It has 0 gas when minting and trading, and it is essentially as secure as Ethereum because what it's doing, it's built on top of Ethereum, so it's combining up to 9,000 transactions per second. It's rolling that up, and then it's sending that over to the Ethereum layer 1 chain, confirming it, and then boom, you're all set and done. And that's essentially how a layer 2 works. So here, if you are a bit more technical, it does say that Myria L2 utilizes Starkware's prover and rollup zero knowledge. So that is the ZK rollup. And if I give you a nice picture of this to make it a lot more easier for you guys to understand, here we have the layer 2 scalability solution. You have all the transactions happening on the layer 2. Then it's essentially bundling that into a block, and then it's sending that into the Ethereum layer 1 to get confirmed and approved. And that's why the security is still built on top of Ethereum. So that's essentially how Myria's layer 2 blockchain is going to work. And that's also how like Optimism or Polygon or Arbitrum, they're all layer 2 solutions. And that's also why the gas is going to be literally nothing on the Myria L2 solution. Now, moving on into their white paper, they do talk about the ZK rollup as well as this being an L2, and because it's built on Ethereum, yada yada yada, we're talking about security. So I'm going to leave you guys to read that. Again, very generic information in my opinion. You could probably just Google that and you'd have something very similar. Then they talk about developer APIs. Again, I'm not too interested in that. Then they have all of this, and then they talk about compliance, obviously, anti-money laundering, KYC, so just understand that. And then they also talk about universal order books, how they are trying to, make it a bit better in terms of a marketplace, because a universal order book, you have to have a buyer, a seller, and then they're trying to make it better. So again, I'm gonna leave you guys to that, but what I really want to talk about is, well, of course, we have the Myria wallet, the NFT marketplace, and if we kind of take a look at their entire ecosystem, we can see that we have the Myria games, you have all the different partnered games, and then it's using the Myria ZK rollup, and then you have your Myria node ecosystem here, which is essentially that layer 2, and then of course it goes onto the L1. So that's essentially the gist of how the Myria L2 ecosystem works. But now if we get into the fees and the token utility, well, here is where it gets a bit more interesting. So here we have fees on Myria, where essentially it says that Myria has various revenue streams, one of them being the protocol fee, which essentially means that they're going to be collecting a fee from third-party license to use the Myria protocol for all trades executed. So I'm not too sure what this means, but essentially if third parties are using the Myria protocol, there's going to be a fee for that, and a portion of those fees are going to be in the Myria token. So that's obviously some kind of utility there. I'm not too sure if they're going to do some buybacks and burns with it. All of that is still unknown. Then you obviously have the marketplace fees, and it also says a primary sales fee, which means that Myria will collect a fee from all primary sales minted using Myria protocol. Then it says that a percentage of the entire ecosystem's revenue is going to be put back into the Myria token staking in the future, and that's one of the other utilities of having the Myria token. Now, of course, we already went through the Myria nodes. That is one of the things I own. I'm excited to see how that's going to work. And essentially, if we talk about the token utility, you have a protocol fee, and this is not the same thing as the gas fee because we know that this is going to be a zero gas ecosystem. So the protocol fee is essentially what we just read here. So again, that's going to be one of the utilities of having the Myria token. You're going to be able to pay with Myria for certain protocol fees. Then to buy a Myria node, you're going to need the Myria token. You can also stake your Myria token to earn more Myria tokens, I believe. And you have the governance. Of course, if you hold Myria, you're going to be able to have a say into what this ecosystem does. And lastly, we have NFT purchases. Now, if we're taking a look at the tokenomics of the Myria token, we have 36% of it for node emissions, 19% for project development, 40% for ecosystem fund, and then 2% for reserves and 3% for liquidity and the token generation event. So that's essentially how it's distributed, and the total supply is 50 billion tokens. Now, if we're talking about the emissions and exactly how that's going to work, obviously TGE, everything's going to be unlocked here. Now, in terms of node emissions, they are distributed daily and they are based on a halving schedule, which occurs every 2 years. So it does say that the protocol will distribute approximately 12 million Myria per day until the scheduled halving. And the first halving is going to happen in year 3, which obviously at that point, it's going to be 6 million Myria per day distributed across all the people who hold a node. So that's your halving schedule, very, very similar to Gala. And then if we talk about the ecosystem, 13% of what we had said here is going to get released immediately. And then it says the remainder of the allocation is unlocked over 36 months or 3 years. I'm not too sure if this means it's linearly vested over 36 months or that it unlocks after 36 months. It's a bit misleading here because after that, it does say the project development is a 6-month cliff. So you can't do anything for 6 months, and then linearly unlocked over 48 months. So over 4 years, project development, the tokens are going to become available. So I'm, again, not too sure if this is linearly vested over these 36 months, but I would assume that it is. And lastly, you have your strategic reserves, which are unlocked immediately. So here we have kind of the months and exactly what's happening here. I think it would be nice to have a total graph here, like a line with the total amount of emissions per month. But again, that's just me. Maybe I'm a bit picky. So that's essentially your white paper. I mean, like I said, it's very brief in my opinion. It's 19 pages. And it's very generic in the sense that there's not too much information. It's simple, but I'm going to leave you guys and make your own opinions of what you think. But ultimately, I'm bullish on this. I purchased the node and I obviously want this to work out well. I want this ecosystem to do well. So I'm obviously biased in that sense. And last but not least, I just wanted to leave you guys on this. This is the blockchain gaming market overview and prediction. So right now in 2022, the market cap for this was about 4.6 billion. And they do say that by 2027, they expect the crypto gaming blockchain market overview to be at $65 billion. So obviously that's what, about a 15x roughly, a bit less. But nonetheless, that is a compounded annual growth rate of 70.3%. That's obviously massive. Again, that's a prediction. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. So we are going to have to wait and see what happens. But that is essentially your news for Myria today. So if you want to participate in this airdrop, they do have this link here. I'm going to leave that in the description below. Have a go at it, read up on it, and hopefully Myria does do well in the future. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.